be yourself and be a nerd. I know that sounds cliche, like probably the most basic cookie cutter ass advice I could possibly give, but people only say that much because it's true. I feel it more and more, especially with our generation, Generation Z, people don't want to set themselves apart too much. And while I do think that's changing in some places, I can't deny our generation tends to romanticize not trying. People are often made fun of for doing too much or trying too hard, which I think is ridiculous. Like, don't get me wrong, you can definitely try too hard to do a lot of things. Some people try too hard to be funny, or they try too hard to be relatable. But I think the amount of times I've seen a post of someone chasing their dreams and I just met with just horrible comments, it's just unnecessarily mean. Everyone tries to be and wants to be nonchalant these days, even if that's not who they are. I'm not saying you can't change things about yourself. You certainly can. But trying to change your personality, just whatever the current thing is or whatever makes you blend in, it's self-sabotage. I understand wanting to fit in. Nobody wants to be an outcast, but to be a complete nobody, it won't get you anywhere either. I'm not saying be the life of the party everywhere you go all the time. I'm saying the amount of people I know who water down their personality around other people just so they can come off as more average or more nonchalant is too many to count. And while this isn't something exclusive to Gen Z, I think the existence of the internet being a thing for all our lives has only made this issue worse. And a big part of that is cringe culture. There had always been things people just generally viewed as cringy, especially in the 2000s. Back then, things like cosplaying, playing video games, watching anime, reading comic books, or reading manga were viewed as cringe, as well as anyone dressing in a way that went against what was normal to people, or making YouTube videos with small audiences. You get clowned on. So a lot of these people practice their hobbies in secret or in their own little corners of the internet where they're free from mockery. But in the 2010s, with channels like Leafy is Here getting all their views by making fun of people for their hobbies and personalities, the internet wasn't even a safe place for people to practice their hobbies and interests, so a lot of people would end up dropping them entirely. And it didn't help that in real life there was some absolute losers making fun of them for it. Losers like me.
So it's
a bad guy?
Yep, in 2018 to 2019, I was one of those lame ass niggas who would go, "What is that you're drawing? Naruto? Naruto? How do you even pronounce that, man? What even is that, bro? That's so cringe. Anime so cringe." Because I, like many of you, saw 3 memes saying so when our 12-year-old brains would go, "Well, if the meme says it, it must be true," and ride with it. Hold on, I gotta explain how stupid of a take this is. Yes, I was 12 years old and said this as if I didn't watch Pokemon Indigo League like 3 times over. But there's a lot of dumbass niggas who have the same take in their grown ass age. I know you don't have to, obviously, you don't have to like anime, that's not what I'm criticizing. But it's people who go, "Damn, anime sucks, it's perverted, just guys screaming." Or the ones who go,
"Yeah, I saw 2 episodes of Dragon Ball when I was 3 years old, so I'm not watching that show you recommend. Anime, it's just not my thing."
Listen and listen good, okay? Please listen. You don't have to consume the same medium as I do. There's no problem with that. I genuinely have 0 problem with that. But the thing is, people don't understand about anime is that it's not a genre. It's a medium. There are countless different genres of anime ranging across tens of thousands of shows. To write off the entire medium all because you saw a small bit of a single show doesn't make sense. That would be like me eating 1 bad omelet and going, "Man, breakfast sucks. Am I right? The general public? Am I cool now? I will let it be known that I, John Hill, does not like breakfast and finds it cringe."
But if the breakfast is made here in the West, I love a good bowl of cereal.
Again, you don't have to watch it. There's no problem with not watching it. Maybe you just don't watch a ton of animated shows. There's no problem with that either. But if I was to not watch a lot of movies, see Sausage Party or some shit, and decide all movies suck, I would be an idiot.
What's the difference?
But that ties back to what I was saying about our generation being incredibly performative, because a lot of these same people enjoy the shows they watch, but then they see stereotypes portrayed in all the media they look at and decide, "Oh, I don't want to be associated with that anymore, so I'll just watch it in secret and be a hater in public," or go watch something that for all intents and purposes is just an anime made here in the West. My main problem with people like this isn't the fact that they're just doing whatever they think the general public will like. Well, it is, but it's also that they just censor and water down their personalities and interests in order to seem more relatable to everyone. But when you're relatable to everyone, you're relatable to no one. And you wanna know how I know this? Because that, like the anime thing, that was me. Here's a little backstory. So, like, in grade 10, I was gonna move to a new school, and some people in my family pulled me aside and gave me some advice. And while I have gotten plenty of good advice, this wasn't one of them. I was told in order to not be bullied, even though I hadn't been bullied in like 7 years or so at that point, I had to not show as much of my personality to people until I got to know them. Now, before this, I was someone who was always 100% myself. 100% of the time. And sure, some people didn't like me all that much, but a lot of people did, and if not, at least respected me for it. I'm not someone who received a lot of compliments growing up, but the one thing people always told me is that I was always myself and I didn't change for anybody. But when I heard this advice, I made the mistake of taking it at face value, and when I moved to this new school, it's not like I wasn't myself, but I was a much more watered down version of myself. I wasn't as energetic or social, I wasn't that animated or expressive, and I was just kind of average. Nobody hated me, but not a lot of people talked to me either, because why would they?
We all have something that makes us something, and Emmett is nothing.
I had nothing to offer them, and sure, I was still myself around the few friends I made there, but around the 11th grade, I started to move away from them as well. And it got to the point where, in the first time in ages, I sat alone at lunch. I didn't have anybody to talk to. Sometimes there'd be no seats, and I'd just skip lunch and awkwardly walk around the school doing laps. But to make matters worse, whenever I did try to approach people to make new friends, I was already to them just some kid who didn't talk to a lot of people. So I was almost always turned down. And not in a blunt way, like, oh, we don't want to talk to you way, but the entire tone of the conversation would just be awkward. Everyone would barely talk or communicate at all and then just kind of die. And I just kind of felt like I was a problem. And when I only really talked to a handful of my old friends, most of which were online, and had a bunch of other things going on in my life that, for the respect of others, I'm not going to mention, 2023 and 2024 were literally the worst years of my life. And I remember at some point in grade 11, something happened to me that was really eye-opening, but a girl made it obvious she liked me. I don't mean in the, oh my god, she breathed in my direction. I mean like, no, she made it obvious. Like, she would constantly pair up with me or touch my shoulder or my arm randomly in conversation, or keep asking us to go to another room in private to practice presentation lines in private, and asking if I was busy at lunch and all. I just distanced myself from her until she left me alone.
You what?
Maybe it was mean, but I didn't want what I thought she wanted. It's not that she wasn't pretty. I mean she was. It's just that at this point in time in that school, I was such a bland, boring, nothing burger person. I knew she didn't like me for me. I knew she found nothing by my personality interesting. I knew she didn't find my humor funny. I knew she even know my name until I gave her my snap. And it just had to do with something, either my looks or my height or something like that. I'm not hot shit. I mean, I'm not ugly, but I'm not a Greek god or something, so it was probably the height thing. But anyways, things did get better in grade 12, and even after grade 12 now, my mental health is a lot better than it used to be. And I'm lucky I had friends that still kept in contact with me and family who cared, or I don't think I would be here making this video. But the reason I mention this story is that you never benefit from not being yourself. Even then, it wasn't the fact I had little to no friends at that school, but the fact that I felt like I didn't even know who I was anymore that caused my depression at the time. But the thing that helped me remind me of who I am were the things that I enjoyed. Even in that period of time where shit was poop in my life, I wouldn't shy from my interest. I mean, I've learned some amazing life lessons from the media I enjoy, and it's given me so much inspiration that I wouldn't be here making these videos if not for the countless shows, games, books, and movies that I've enjoyed over the years I've been alive. And I'm so happy I decided to drop my anime hating phase back in 2019, because the moment I started watching all these shows, it sent me down a rabbit hole of watching and reading things I never thought I would have prior, and appreciating them for different reasons. There is so much value in shows you've never seen, games you've never played, and books you've never read, all because you were too afraid to be cringe. But the truth is, in 120 years or so, every single one of us is gonna be dead. All of us, dead in a casket. So do you wanna live your life caring about what other people thought of you, or thought of what you watched or what you enjoy? Hell no. And to my fellow content creators, and when I say that, I don't just mean influencers, I mean future animators, the game developers, the musicians, the painters, all of you guys. I've seen and talked with so many of you with such great and amazing ideas that are never gonna get made. And it's not because you can't do it, it's not because you're not good enough, it's because you sit there and do nothing. You sit there and think, oh no, I won't do that, that's cringe, or no one's gonna see this anyways and all that, and they never get made. Your ideas never come to light if you never get up and do them. Because every single time you guys watch a video or play a game or read a book and think, I could come up with something better than that, it's because you can. But the fact is, most of you aren't gonna do shit because most of you can't handle the embarrassment or what you think other people are gonna think of you. And that's normal, that's fine, it's part of being human. But the truth is, no one great ever gets there by being average. No one great ever gets there by being boring or blending in or just being like everybody else. So be a nerd. nerd out, whatever it is you love. Enjoy the things you enjoy, watch the things you want to watch, and make the things you want to make, because we're only on this earth for so long, so you might as well enjoy it. And while you chase your dreams, I'm going to be here chasing mine. So if you want to be here for that, like, subscribe, leave a comment or whatever if this video helped at all. But yeah, that's it. Bye bye.
これが自由だ